something strange has been happening. Over the last few years, people started losing weight fast. Not through intense diets, not through hours in the gym, but almost effortlessly. At first, it was celebrities, then influencers, and now it feels like it's everywhere. There's a reason for that. A single drug quietly moved from treating a medical condition to becoming one of the most in-demand substances in the world. It's called Ozempic. And what's happening right now isn't just a trend. This might be something much bigger. It started subtly. A few familiar faces began showing up, looking different. Slimmer, sharper, almost overnight. And that's when people started noticing something strange. Actors, talk show hosts, comedians. People like Rebel Wilson openly talked about dramatic weight loss. Others didn't say much, but the changes were hard to ignore. At first, no one questioned it, because Hollywood has always transformed bodies. But this time felt different. The results weren't just fast, they were consistent. Scroll through social media, and you'd see it everywhere. Before and after photos, transformation videos, comments asking, what are they doing? And eventually, all those questions started pointing to the same answer: Ozempic. But this didn't start in Hollywood, because Ozempic wasn't designed for weight loss at all. It was created to treat type 2 diabetes. Its job was simple: help people control blood sugar. But the way it works is what changed everything. Ozempic mimics a natural hormone in your body that controls hunger. It slows digestion and tells your brain you're full, even when you're not. Which means people eat less, much less. And over time, the weight drops. For someone managing diabetes, this was a powerful tool. But outside that context, it became something else entirely. Because once people realized what it could do, they started using it differently. And that's when things started to shift drastically. But this wasn't just a medical discovery anymore. And behind all of this is a company most people have never thought about. A Danish pharmaceutical company called Novo Nordisk. They developed Ozempic as part of a class of drugs designed to treat diabetes. But as demand grew, something unexpected happened. The drug didn't just become popular, it became one of the most valuable products in the world. In fact, Novo Nordisk briefly became Europe's most valuable company, largely because of drugs like this. Which means this wasn't just a health breakthrough, it was a business explosion too. And that's when everything accelerated. At first, it spread quietly, through private clinics, exclusive prescriptions, word of mouth in elite circles. Then social media accelerated everything. Influencers began hinting at effortless weight loss. Doctors started prescribing it off-label, meaning for something it wasn't originally approved for. And suddenly, demand exploded, not just in Hollywood, but everywhere. In the US, prescriptions for drugs like Ozempic surged so fast that pharmacies struggled to keep up. Search trends skyrocketed. TikTok filled with transformation stories. In some places, demand grew so fast, it caught entire healthcare systems off guard. Some clinics even started building entire businesses around it. Weight loss programs, subscription plans, all centered around access to the same drug. In some places, people were paying hundreds of dollars a month just to stay on it. And for many, stopping wasn't even an option, because once the weight dropped, the fear of gaining it back became just as strong. People who had never considered medication before were now actively trying to get it. Because for many, it worked exactly as promised. Rapid weight loss, minimal effort, almost too easy. And that's what made it different, because this wasn't another diet trend. It felt like a shortcut, but as more people started using it, something unexpected followed. But then something started to feel off. Not just weight loss, but changes in how people looked. Faces appearing more hollow. Skin losing volume. A slightly sunken, almost aged appearance. Some started calling it Ozempic face, and it wasn't just about appearance. Users reported nausea, fatigue, a constant feeling of fullness that made eating feel unnatural. For some, food stopped being enjoyable altogether, which sounds like the goal until it isn't. Because when something becomes this effective this fast, it raises a different kind of question. What else is it doing? And that's where things get uncomfortable. Because Ozempic didn't just change individuals. It started affecting people who weren't even using it. As demand surged, shortages followed. In the US and parts of Europe, patients with diabetes, who rely on this drug to manage their condition, started struggling to get it. Pharmacies ran out. Doctors had to limit prescriptions, all because a completely different group of people wanted the same drug for a different reason. And that created something unusual. A single medication being pulled in two completely opposite directions. One for survival, the other for transformation. And when that happens, it's no longer just a health trend. And problems like that don't stay contained for long. But that's not the only thing that started to change. Because something else was happening, quietly. Expectations were changing. Suddenly, people around you started looking different, faster than you expected. On social media, rapid weight loss started to feel normal. Not impressive, not rare, just expected. And when that becomes the baseline, it creates pressure. Because now, people aren't just comparing themselves to others. They're comparing themselves to results that are medically assisted. And that changes the game completely. Because what used to take months now takes weeks. What used to require discipline now requires access. And once expectations shift like that, they rarely go back. And that's where this starts to get uncomfortable. What happens when a shortcut becomes the standard? Because Ozempic didn't spread through hype. It spread through results. Quietly, consistently, until suddenly, it was everywhere. And that's what makes this different. Not just how fast it works, but how easily it fits into everyday life. Because once something like this becomes widely accepted, it doesn't stay optional for long. It becomes expected. And when expectations shift like that, it doesn't just change individuals. It changes how society defines progress, effort, even self-control. Because if results can be achieved instantly, what happens to the idea of earning them? And if something like this becomes normal, what comes next? And that's the part no one has an answer to yet. But I'm curious, do you think this is just a trend or the start of something much bigger?